All right, so I bought a small comic book collection. I'm gonna take you through my process of breaking it down. All right, guys, this video might not be for everyone. This is literally my process on buying a collection and breaking it down, how I do it. Before we get into it, don't forget, give me a follow on whatnot. Use that description below. Get yourself $10 off your first purchase. And I want to let everyone know right now on Kickstarter, if you're a fan of the boys, you got to check this out. The Oversized Omnibus is on Kickstarter right now. Back it, get it. It's going to be absolutely awesome. I'm going to be backing it myself. I'd love to have the boys Omni on my shelf. That's going to be great. So with that, the thing about this video is it's literally 4 short boxes. And again, my process of going through it, breaking it down, and showing you how I do it. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. All right, so here we go, guys. We're gonna get into it. What I'm doing now is actually separating major titles from minor ones. Why? Because I get a different price per box based on major titles and minor titles, such as Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn. Those were major. Batman Beyond, those are major titles. I'll start showing you when the Drek really starts popping off here. No, Harley, that's all good stuff. This is all getting bulked out. And what happens too is, well, here we go. Bad title. Catwoman, that's cheaper. That goes in the cheap box. What happens too is there are times that I will go through things a few times based on certain variants I have to look up, certain titles, stuff I'm uncertain of. So we'll keep that one aside. That is a Scotty Young variant. We'll keep some of the Miles stuff here aside. There you go. We'll take all that out. That was, I believe that was a Doctor Strange variant. Daredevil major title. We'll pull that aside. I do have to look some of those up. There's some of the Daredevil stuff I have to look up because I believe the Elektra stuff comes in a later box. But I do go through some of these things multiple times, quickly get it done to do a video, and then I go through like with a fine-tooth comb, like, all right, this is this. Anything Star Wars is major title. So the Spider-Man, those are going to get pulled out aside. If I remember correctly, yes. See? Silver Surfer, major title. So the stuff that gets pulled out to the left that you just saw, those will be individually priced, and those will end up in boxes at shows. So if you come up to my booth and you see all the long boxes, that's where these things come from. And again, I do miss things. So like sometimes I'll bulk out stuff where there is a $10 or $20 book because, I don't know, you're just going to miss stuff sometimes. It happens. Sometimes I'm moving too quick. Sometimes I don't know. And I got to imagine it happens to everybody. You know, nobody's perfect. This is Black Hat is not a major title, but Avengers is. It's the Miles, the Spidey, that stuff's going to get pulled. The Miles pulled one way, and the Spidey goes into the bulk. You're going to see a lot of variants. And, the next box to our left when we get going is that's going to be a lot more fun. And the reason I picked this collection to go through with you guys is because it was only 4 short boxes. And there weren't really any tremendous keys. There was nothing really standout-ish. Nothing like, oh man, this has to go to CGC. This here's a major key. And you're going to see in the second box, which is actually probably the best box of the 4, and I'd like to hear your opinion on that. There's really no big-time keys. Now this I actually pulled aside because I wasn't sure about it, and after looking it up, it ended up going into bulk. But, yeah, you'll see in the next box. Now, okay, so the far right long box is going to be the major titles that get bulked out. The short box right in front of us is actually going to be the Drek. And what I do, all right, so here's some signed stuff. This stuff's actually going to be pulled aside. There's some Star Wars signed stuff. And then look, COA. These are all J. Scott Campbell, COA, signed with a COA. Certificate of authenticity again, and the same thing there. So now we'll get into this one. Now this is the best of the 4 boxes. Box 4 is interesting though, because I have to really look up everything from box 4 because it's a lot of indie stuff that I want to check, a lot of cover swipes, a lot of homages that I do have to look up. There's a 1 in 25. We'll pull that out. We pulled all these out. because I wasn't too sure about it. Some of these obscure titles I'm not good with. Some of the Dynamite stuff, some of the Xenoscope stuff. I have to look it up because I'm just not sure. These are all cover swipes. Look, ASM 300 swipes. We're going to have to put those aside, look them up. And if my man Roger is watching, I know he likes that. Those are all turtle swipes. I know Roger loves the ASM 300 stuff. Those are all turtle swipes right there from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. So there's probably some value there. So we got to pull those aside. Got to look all those up. Not now. We'll do those later. Here you go. First White Vision. There's some value there. This is probably the most major key that we'll come across. I believe this is a Venom book. I'm going to pull this out too. Is it 35? Maybe. Anyway, that gets pulled. This whole box pretty much sticks around to be priced out. There's some ratio variants. Silver Age Iron Man. I don't know if that was some silver or bronze. Mr. Miracle, some Bronze Age stuff there. This G.I. Joe, the silent issue. This one's beat to, oof. This is actually an error book. And now some Silver Age Avengers. Again, nothing, you hear me say a lot. Nobody's retiring off this, but this Thor book's nice. It's got the Hulk 181 advertisement in it, so that's going to be put aside as I do everything here. Look how steady I'm holding the camera. Huh? Everybody yells at me? Look how steady. Look at that. All Silver Age stuff that I'm just going to put aside and price out. No major keys. And I believe at the end of this box is just some more modern Daredevil, which will end up being bulked out. It's 25-cent covers. That stuff will end up being priced and put in boxes. And then, yeah, some of this modern stuff is just like, we'll toss it. I think I pull one book back, one Daredevil book back, and then we'll move on to the third, probably the worst of the 4 boxes, if I remember correctly. All right, we're going to move these. These probably go back in that box, right? Did I put them back in the box? No, they went aside. Okay, now we're going to dig into this. I'll pull out a batch. Major title, Batman Adventures. That'll be bulked out. And I hope you guys are enjoying this style of video. I've gotten a lot of comments about breaking collections down. So I'm like, you know what? When given an opportunity like this one with only 4 short boxes, why not? Let's dig into it. Catwoman. What could I do with these Catwoman books? Could I auction them off as a big full run? Yeah, maybe. But, I'd rather just bulk it out, get rid of it, and move on to the next thing. Not great titles. This, I believe I kept aside. This, I definitely keep aside. This is a $5 plus book. This, no. And, at first I kept all these 3 Joker books aside, but I have a short box of this stuff in, that still needs to be done with. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to bulk this out. Absolutely unbelievable story. Yeah, could we send this to auction and make like 10, 20 bucks? Probably, but is it worth it? I don't know. It's just time. Everything is time. All right, here's a nice, long, big Batman run. And what I ended up doing here is pull a couple little things out now, but I actually ended up going back through it, pulling, because I do already have this in my PC, because this is in my pull list. What I ended up doing is I went back through and pulled anything of somewhat significance, like that book. I believe that. Maybe there was not even a dozen. Nice homage there. But not even a dozen books did I end up pulling back out of here. First appearance, was it The Designer? There's a couple first appearances in here. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's, yeah, not Batman. I believe this got pulled. I think that was number 100. So you're going to see me just kind of flip through here. But again, guys, I did go back through here and did pull out some keys. Nice big long run on Batman. But what's cool is if this wasn't on my pull list, this would stay in the PC. I would end up keeping this, putting it in a short box, and someday when, I don't know when, maybe when my hair falls out or when I'm gray, I would end up going back and reading it. But I already have this in a box, so it's going to get bulked out. Sorry about the camera angle. But you can kind of see what's going on here. Again, all Batman, long Batman run. It's just, It's going to stay right where it is. And I go back through it. Now, this last box is maybe the most interesting. A lot of this stuff, and I haven't gone back through it yet to price it out, but a lot of this stuff I was completely unsure of and didn't know. So, yeah, there may be some value in this fourth box that I'm unsure of, or that's there and I didn't even know it. But trust me when I say I'm going to eventually get back through this and price stuff out. And if there's anything $5, $10 or more, yeah, that's going to get kept aside. Anything under that price point will be bulked out. And since they are not major titles, they'll be bulked out at a discounted rate. All to the same guy. I think this is a second and third print, or a first and second print. Yeah, there was all that firepower stuff in there. Yeah, you'll see. A lot of Image, Dynamite, that kind of stuff that I'm just not sure of. And you can't know everything, right? I mean, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. You know, I do love the silver, I love the bronze, I love all the major title stuff, but you can't, I don't think you can know it all. You just can't. There's probably some great reading in here. Some Grim Fairy Tale, some Dark Watch, Van Helsing. I think that's some Xenoscope stuff in there. And do I move so we can, yeah, see, look at me. That way we can see a little bit better. Oh, some haha. Yeah, haha was in there. All this stuff, a lot of this stuff I'm going to go through and price out to see if there's anything of any value in here. Nothing stood out to me, put it that way. Nothing jumped out to me other than, okay, a lot of, it's literally a short box of Independence. Some Berserker. All right, Berserker #1. I think that's the third print foil, and that has a little bit of value. I think it's like a $20, $30 book maybe. Spawn, that'll be pulled and into the good bulk. Major title. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, so, I mean, guys, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down below on stuff that you said that I may have missed or that I didn't know about. That's how we learn. That's cool. Yeah, sorry about the camera. Some more Berserker. And that's going to be it for the 4 boxes. Some Stray Dogs. Yeah, see, all those things are definitely going to be looked up at a later date, but I wanted to go through everything and get this video done for you as fast as I could. All right, and with that, that's pretty much the process. Basically, all those books too, I don't think I mentioned it before, all those $5 plus books, they end up going aside. They get rebagged and boarded if they need it, and they usually do. Then I have to go through and price it, and then I have to take it and put it in the long boxes in their spot, alphanumerical. That is my order. That is how I do these shows. So the books are handled multiple times. And it's everything just takes time, a lot of time. Now, this was a quick one, right? Only 4 short boxes. Imagine doing this process with a collection with maybe 10 long boxes, which at the end of the day still isn't even a lot. I've picked up collections of 60 plus long boxes. Takes a lot of time. I can't stress it enough. You guys who have done this before, you understand the process. You understand how long it takes. If you haven't, buy a collection or 2 and you'll get it. Now, with that being said, you know, a lot of the stuff that I do bulk out, and I think I did reference this earlier, you know, if I had owned a store, an actual brick and mortar store, yeah, a lot of this stuff would be like $1, $2 books. You throw it out and you know, people dig through it. And sometimes they'll pay $1 or $2 for like a $5 or $10 book. You know, it happens, which is good. You know, people want deals. But, for me personally, not owning a brick and mortar store and only having so much room at conventions, it's not worth it for me to take these $1 and $2 books to these shows. So again, it's all bulked out to somebody I know, and I'm not sure what he does with it. People ask me all the time. I never ask him because I don't really care. Whatever he does, he does. I'll try to remember next time I dish out all the books. I'll ask him what he does, and maybe I'll put it in a video so you guys know. But that's it for this one. You kind of just saw my process. And yes, I will be going back through some of this stuff and start pricing and seeing if some of these variants are even worth looking at and bagging and boarding and pricing and doing all that. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this was, you know, helpful for some of you guys and to see the actual process. And maybe even if you don't do this on your own, to actually see the process of what some of these vendors go through. And I've said it a million times now in this video, but the amount of time it takes to go through collections and how many times you handle a book before it's actually put in a box and put out for sale is it's a long process. So with that, thank you guys. I want to remind you again, all the discount codes down below in the description. There's discount codes left and right. Use them. Don't forget to back the boys Omni on Kickstarter. It's going to be really cool. Great read. Mature audiences only. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep it comics.